One question that our customers often ask us is, you have so many plants at the store, how do you not have fungus gnats? And today I want to share with you what we do at the store in order to prevent and get rid of the fungus gnats. And I hope you can apply all these tips that I'm going to share in your home so that they become gnat free. Hi friend, it's Jira from Plant Corner. I have a small plant shop in Harlem and we have around 500 plants in the store at all times, more or less. And in this video, I want to show you what I do in order to keep the fungus gnats away. Before we get into that, let's get to know them a little. Fungus gnats are small insects that looks like fruit flies, and they like to fly around your plants, making it really annoying for plant parents. They usually feed on decayed matter and plant roots, mainly on indoor plants. Usually they are just annoying and won't kill your plants unless you have a lot of them, because the larvae can actually eat the roots of your plants and then cause the plant to stop growing or die. To get rid of them, we have to understand their life cycle. The fungus gnats went from egg to larvae in around 4 to 6 days. And during the larvae stage, they usually feed on fungus, decaying materials, and then sometimes roots of living plants. This fungus stage takes about 12 to 14 days. And then they become pupa, and from pupa, they became a full-grown adult within 3 to 6 days. And these adults likes to reproduce in moist and shaded area of your plants, and they each can lay around 200 eggs or more each time. This is the reason why when you're trying to get rid of fungus gnats using yellow sticky trap, you only trap and kill the adult gnats, but not the larvae. So eventually within a couple of weeks, the larvae became pupa, the pupa became the adults, and the cycle just keep going on and on again. So as we can see, what they really like are shaded, moist area and decaying matter. Why? Because they like to lay eggs in moist soil, and the larvae would need the decaying matter in order to survive and become a fully grown adult. Getting rid of the adults will not get rid of fungus gnats, because when you see the adults, there's already some eggs and larvae that's in the soil that's ready to come back out later on if you don't kill them from the root cause. First tip, I would recommend inspecting plants before you buy. When you buy plants at a plant store, maybe ask them, when did you last water the plant? If the plant seems moist and they say, oh, we just watered the plant yesterday, that makes complete sense. But if they say, oh, we watered the plant last week and the plant still look moist, then something is going on. Maybe they use the substrate that is not well draining, or maybe they have been over-watering the plants, and that would be a perfect scenario for the fungus gnats to lay egg in. Tips number 2. Let the soil dry out in between watering. If you let the soil dry out in between watering, the fungus gnat adult will not be able to lay eggs in those dry soil. Another method that I've seen people use is also bottom watering, but not until the top part becomes moist, just until the bottom half of the soil is moist. Third, you want to remove decaying matters from the soil. For example, fallen leaves, or if you use coffee ground or eggshells or banana and you put it in your soil directly, those fresh compost would actually attract fungus gnats because they can smell it, they come to your plants, and then the larvae can feed off of those decaying material. So for me, I would try my best. If I see the dead leaves on the soil, I would just get rid of them, and I'll try not to use fresh compost to fertilize my plants. I would focus on using either aged compost or slow release fertilizer or liquid fertilizer instead. Next, I would use the yellow sticky trap, and they have already did the research that yellow is the color that most pests are attracted to. Not just fungus gnats, but also fruit flies, regular flies, aphids, thrips. When they see the yellow sticky trap, they will fly on top of the sticky trap and then got stuck on it, and once they're out of food, they will eventually die. So using the sticky traps will eliminate the adult version of fungus gnats. We also have carnivorous plants around the store. We have Venus flytrap, we have sundew, we have pitcher plant. So when the bugs land onto these plants, they are stuck onto either the dew of sun dew or they're trapped within the claws of Venus flytrap and they can't come out. So having these guys around the store also help me eliminate the adult version of the fungus gnats as well. Next, you can use hydrogen peroxide mixture. Using 1 part hydrogen peroxide 3% and 3 parts water, combine them and then water your plants with it. But please do this after the previous round of water has dried out. So doing that will kill the larvae in the soil and also give your plant's roots some oxygen boost. Next, what we usually do every quarter at the store is using nematodes. And nematodes are tiny microscopic worms that would eat the eggs and larvae of fungus gnats in the soil and also eggs and larvae of other pests as well. So we usually mix the nematode with water. I recommend letting the water sit out for 24 hours before using that water because nematodes can die if they are exposed to chlorine. So I would mix that with water and then just use that to water the plants that are in the store. We do this once every quarter because the nematodes can survive in the soil for about that long. And then every few months or so, we also release beneficial mites. And I'm not gonna even try to attempt to pronounce the name, but we just call them Skimitas mites. And these mites, what it does is that it eats all the soft-bodied insects like that are smaller than them. So like fungus gnats larvae, or even like spider mites or other thrips, eggs of other pests. They usually come in a package and I would usually sprinkle them on top of the soil of the plant that I suspect that might have fungus gnats and then just let the bugs do their job. I have also seen people using mosquito bits and they either make a tea out of the mosquito bits by dissolving the mosquito bits in water and use the water to water their plants, or they just sprinkle mosquito bits on top of the soil. And mosquito bits has a beneficial bacteria called BTI, in which if any type of larvae like mosquito larvae or in this case fungus gnat larvae eat them or ingest them, it releases toxin in their gut and cause them to stop eating and then die. Lastly, you can switch out your substrate entirely from anything that includes organic matter such as soil, which fungus gnats can feed on. You can switch them into inorganic matter like leca, pond, or perlite, because there will be nothing for the fungus gnats to feed on, or even some soft surface for them to lay eggs in, so they cannot survive there. I have talked about substrates and what you can use, and I'm gonna link it up here, I hope. I'm gonna link it up here. And using that, I know a lot of people switch to leca or pond because they are tired of dealing with fungus gnats. But of course, what comes after is that there's no natural nutrients for the soil, so you have to up your game in terms of fertilization. Well, if you find this helpful so far, don't forget to subscribe, and then let's summarize everything we've talked about. First, in order to prevent fungus gnats, you can inspect the plants before you buy. You can let the soil dry out in between waterings. You can remove any decaying materials from the topsoil and also switch into inorganic substrate like pond, leca, or perlite. Next, to kill the fungus gnats at the larvae stage, you can use the hydrogen peroxide mixture. You can use nematode every quarter. You can use beneficial mites, and you can use mosquito bits. And lastly, to kill the adult gnats, you can use the yellow sticky traps. And what we usually have in the store also is the carnivorous plants like sundew, Venus flytraps, or pitcher plants. Now, remember that you can't just eliminate one part of the equation. You have to get rid of fungus gnats in multiple stages at once. So you either get rid of both the adults using one of the methods I suggested, which is either using yellow sticky trap or the carnivorous plants, and at the same time eliminates the baby larvae in the soil by using the hydrogen peroxide, or you could use nematodes or mosquito bits. So by combining these few methods together, you make sure to eliminate them at different stages of life and make sure that the cycle will not be complete and they won't come back to you again. I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Your substrate.